Hey, what's up, guys? It's Gothalion, and welcome back to How to Twitch. In this series, I like to show you how to stream to twitch.tv, and today I'm going to go over the software that I use to stream personally. I use OBS, or Open Broadcast Software. You can get it for free. I believe it's OBS Project whatever, but if you search OBS or Open Broadcast Software on Google, you'll find it very easily. I'll put a link in the description below. Can't think of it right now. Anyways, so I'm gonna go over the settings that I use for not only recording, but encoding, or rather also streaming. So we're gonna start off with the encoding tab. Right now I have it set to 20,000 kilobytes per second, which is too high for Twitch. What you wanna do is you wanna set it to about 3,500, and that's if you're partnered. Here's the reason. 3,500 bitrate is the maximum that Twitch will allow you. Now, as a beginner, you don't have encoding on Twitch, so unfortunately, you won't be able to have people who could set it to low, or set it to medium, or set it to higher source. So you need to accommodate for these people who cannot watch your streams. So I'm gonna recommend you set it around 1,500 to maybe even 2,000. Maybe 2,000, but to get the most people who are able to watch your streams, setting it around 1,500 max bitrate is probably the smartest thing you can use. Use the CBR, that's constant bitrate. That'll ensure that there won't be any fluctuations in bitrate between you and Twitch, which can give you a poor signal to them. I also use the X264 encoder. That is your CPU encoder. If you prefer to use the NVIDIA encoding, I have noticed that it doesn't look quite as good as CPU encoding, especially if you have a nice CPU like an i7. If you're still rocking like an i3, you might want to try out the NVIDIA codec, but you need to have a Kepler or above card if you're trying out the NVIDIA encoder, because the Kepler and above actually have that onboard video encoder for them, and Fermi to the past do not. So if you have like a 600 series and above for NVIDIA, you can use that NVIDIA codec. And if you have an AMD card, then obviously you can't use the NVIDIA codec. Audio bitrate, obviously you can push out some good audio. I tend to sit around 96 to 112, 48 kilohertz, yada yada. Stereo, blah. Okay, moving on. Broadcast settings. Right now I am doing file output only, but you could set it to live stream. Obviously, you're going to put your stream key here. You pick that up off of Twitch. You go to your dashboard, you hit stream key, and it will give you a stream key. You can usually try to broadcast to whatever server is nearest to you. I usually go in between Florida and Ashburn, Virginia. I am in Florida, but for whatever reason, I have issues with the Miami server, which is a little bit weird. So that is my broadcast settings. We're gonna go down to video. All right, so down in the video settings, we do have actually let's set this back. I don't think that's gonna fuck with me right now. I don't think those take until the next launch. But anyways, so video adapter, I'm using a GTX 980, custom resolution 1920 by 1080, and I do not recommend trying to stream at 1920 by 1080. So you will mostly be capturing 1080p signals, so you're gonna have to downscale those. So I use a resolution downscale of 1.5, which brings it to 720p. I do not recommend trying to stream at 1920 by 1080. So you will mostly be capturing 1080p signals, so you're gonna have to downscale those. So I use a resolution downscale of 1.5, which brings it to 720p, which is the optimal streaming resolution. And I tend to use a